Hi guys, I'm Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic, and today I want to give you my 8 favorite dumbbell exercises for working out at home. And the best thing about dumbbells is they're just as effective at home as they are at the gym. So basically any dumbbell exercise you're doing at the gym, you can do just as easily and just as effectively at home. And guys, when it comes to dumbbells and working out at home, I highly recommend you get a set of adjustable dumbbells. Now, yes, I realize they're a lot more expensive, but they're adjustable. Most of them are in 5-pound increments, all the way, I think, from a low of 10 pounds all the way up to 50 pounds. And you can actually get heavier ones also, but it's just 2 little dumbbells, and all you do is you just twist the handle and it picks up a different number of flanges or weights on the ends, and that's how it adjusts the weight. And so literally it takes you just 5 or 10 seconds to put these into the rack, twist the handles, and then pick them up again with a completely different amount of weight on the handles. That's why they're so expensive, guys, because they're really effective. And also, you only have 1 pair of dumbbells sitting on the floor. All right, you don't have 10 pairs, okay, at all different types of weights. And changing weight, of course, is super quick. That's what's brilliant about it. There are some less expensive adjustable dumbbells, but you have to manually put plates on the bar and then put the collars on the end of the bar so that the plates don't slide off. Less expensive, but real time consuming to change, all right, the weights. And still, you have a lot of plates laying around, even though you just have 2 little short bars, that serve as the handles for your dumbbells. That being said, okay, let's get into my favorite exercises using dumbbells at home and why they're so effective. All right, so the first exercise I'm going to talk about is curls, all right? And I'm not going to do these in any particular order, so this is not my favorite or anything like that. But you're going to notice that we're going to hit all of the different muscle groups in our body. Some muscle groups are going to get more than one exercise. But curls are so easy to do, and there's lots of different ways you can do curls. You can do alternating curls, okay, which I really prefer because I can concentrate when I'm really working out hard and focus that mind-muscle connection on just one arm at a time. Or you can do simultaneous, 2-arm curls. A lot of people do this. Of course, this is a big time saver. It literally goes twice as fast as alternating. And then, of course, you can do hammer curls. And you can do it either 2-arm hammer curls, or you can do alternating hammer curls. So super straightforward dumbbell exercise, just as good at home as it is at the gym. All right, so the second exercise targets our chest, and of course, nothing better than an incline bench press. And, like I said earlier, I highly recommend buying a set of adjustable dumbbells. Be sure and buy a bench. These things are so cheap now on Amazon. You can pick up a bench for, I don't know, 60, 70, 80 bucks. And be sure and get an adjustable one so you can adjust the angle of the back, okay, on the bench. But my go-to favorite for chest is incline. All right, now I'm using super light weights here, guys, just for demonstration purposes. But it wouldn't have taken me more than 10 seconds to walk over to the rack, slide these in, twist the handles, and pull up 50 pounds of dumbbells each. All right, so incline is my favorite, but you can lower the back here and do flat bench just as easily. And, like I said, you're gonna hear me repeat this several times during this video. This is just as effective here in my den as it is when I'm doing it at the gym. All right, the third exercise is going to target our triceps. These are called skull crushers, okay? Kind of like curls. You can either do them two-handed, okay, which allows you to basically knock out your workout a lot faster, all right? Or, you put one down and you can do 1-arm skull crushers, and I use my offhand to try to stabilize my elbow and keep it in one place, keep it from moving around. And then I can really focus, just on 1 arm at a time. And you guys can kind of play around with the 2-arm versus the 1-arm. and see if you have a favorite. You know, this is kind of an individual preference, I would say. I don't think in this case one is any better than the other. All right, the fourth exercise is going to have us focus on our lower body, and that's lunges. I know a lot of guys don't like lunges, but they are really good for you. So you can do alternating lunges, or you can do one-legged lunges where you just hit one leg back and forth for a certain number of reps, all right, before you call that good and then switch over to the other leg. Or you can do pulsing lunges where you just stay in one location like this and just pulse up and down. All right, you would target one leg first for a certain number of reps. Then you would just switch over and do the other leg. Man, 3 great ways to do lunges just with some simple lightweight dumbbells. All right, so the fifth exercise is gonna target our legs once again. It's called a goblet squat. It's because you hold the dumbbell like this. I guess it kind of looks like a goblet. Anyway, you put your hands, you know, under the top flange like this, and be sure and hold it nice and close to your chest, all right? Like this, you know, tuck your elbows down here. And then basically it's just a squat. And, you know, the only key to doing this correctly really is the first part of the move is just stick your butt out. Just kind of arch your back and stick your butt out, and then everything else just naturally flows. And I like to go down until my elbows hit my inner thighs. And that basically tells me I've done a really nice full range of motion. Now, if you got knee problems and you can't go that deep, just go as deep as your body will let you go. All right, the sixth exercise also targets our lower body. So get this, I picked 3 exercises for our legs, and that's because it's a big muscle group. You know, you got your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes. That's a lot of different exercises you need to work those different muscle groups. So number 6 is called a Romanian deadlift, okay? They're also referred to as straight-legged deadlifts or RDLs. And basically, you're gonna bend over, okay? Now, I know it says straight-legged deadlift, but you'll notice that my knees do have a bend in them, okay? Now, I'm not locking my knees and then bending over at the waist like this. So once again, just like a squat, the first part of the movement is stick your butt out. Arch your back, stick your butt out, and then lower the dumbbells so they stay real close to your knees and shins, okay? Don't let the dumbbells swing out in front of you here. So as you're going down, you want to feel like your hands are dragging down the front of your thighs and barely touching your knees, okay? The dumbbells are staying as close to your body as you can keep them, all right? And you go down and you're gonna really feel a stretch in your hamstrings and your glutes, all right? And one of the things that I want you to feel, all right, is not standing up using your lower back. When you go down here, I want you to feel like you're squeezing your glutes together. You squeeze your butt cheeks together, right? And when you do that, that's gonna raise your upper body. And you're also activating your hamstrings, but you don't have to really focus on trying to use your hamstrings. If you just focus on squeezing your glutes, that's gonna activate the entire rear portion or the entire rear chain of your leg muscles. And you're gonna feel it tomorrow, especially if you've never done this exercise. I promise you're gonna be nice and sore, but it's a good sore. You're gonna feel soreness in muscles that you didn't know you had. All right, exercise number 7 is gonna move back up to our upper body, and we're gonna target our shoulders. Now, guys, I love doing lateral raises. You gotta use a really light weight, all right, for the form. And I think this is probably one of the better exercises for guys that have shoulder problems, because you don't have to lift your hands. You don't have to do an overhead shoulder press. A lot of guys simply can't do that movement. Their shoulders are so bad. And a lot of guys can do this movement. You don't even have to bring your hands all the way up to shoulder height. If you can just go from the dumbbells right here at the front of your thighs, and then just bring it about 2/3 of the way up, and then slowly back down, slow up, slow control down, you're gonna feel the tension in your shoulders. And after about 10 to 12 reps, you're gonna feel that lactic acid build up, and it's fantastic. All right, now the 8th and final dumbbell exercise is for our back. And it's called a bent over row, and there's a couple of ways to do this, okay? So this is the one arm supported bent over row. And I'm using a really lightweight here, but this is a big, strong muscle group. So most of you guys will be able to max out your dumbbells with the heaviest weight, okay? So basically, you're just rowing the dumbbell back towards your hip, guys. Bring it back this way. You don't want to bring the dumbbell up to your chest like this, okay? So bring it back here and control the weight on the downward portion of the movement, okay? And of course, you'll turn around and do the other arm, okay? The other way you can do this movement is with 2 dumbbells at the same time. Now, when you're doing two-handed bent over rows, you can't support yourself on a bench, obviously, all right? So you're gonna be using a lighter weight, all right, because we're doing 2 dumbbells now instead of 1, and because you're supporting all your weight with your lower back. All right, same thing here, guys. I'm rowing the dumbbells back. I'm pulling my elbows back towards my hip. And the other thing you're gonna notice is that I'm keeping my back nice and straight, okay? And to get a straight back, guys, you just wanna feel actually like your back is arched. And you're gonna notice also that my knees are bent. I got a nice, consistent bend in my knees. Anytime your lower back is hurting you doing any exercise, try bending your knees. And that includes overhead dumbbell presses or seated overhead dumbbell presses. Pretty much any movement, all right? When you have weight up here, if you're standing up and you're feeling stress in your lower back, just try bending your knees a little bit as you're going through your range of motion, and you'll take a lot of stress off those lower vertebrae. All right, in wrapping up today's video, I hope you guys were a lot more excited about this video than that guy. He's 14 years old now. Mojo's getting up there. He doesn't hear very well. He doesn't see nearly as well, but he still likes to hang out, even when we're shooting workout videos. And I promise, it doesn't matter. He can read time better than I can. He knows exactly when it's time to get food or go on a WALK. I don't understand, but it's like he's got a watch on all the time. He's fantastic. He's just really slowing down. Doesn't matter. We do it every single night. We go on our WALK at least twice a day. And that being said, this video is over, and I hope you guys remember, you got to stick with it and never give up on yourself.